Good morning. Wow, I like that. I want to thank you for coming out this morning on a bright, shining, cold day. Kind of a prelude to what the weather is going to be like on Saturday when the Chiefs beat those darn Colts, and we're going to break the spell. Let us face the flags. We're going to have the Pledge of Allegiance led by the police department. Your hands over your heart. Unless you're military, you can salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We have some introductions we want to make. You know who I am. I'm Carson Ross, the mayor. We have 3 council members here that I saw. We have Councilman Chris Lavasay and his daughter Emily right here. Councilman Jerry Kaler, who made that trip to Jefferson City for the inaugural gala and came back, and he's here, so Councilman Jerry Kaler. And the mayor pro tem to keep us all on the straight and narrow, Councilman Susan Culpepper. I guess after the charter change, if it's approved, I can no longer call you councilman, I'll call you council member. How about that? In 1976, it was July 4th, 1976. How many of you were here? Okay, we have about 3 or 4 people. Eloise and I had lived here for about 2.5 years. Let me ask another way. How many of you were even born in 1976? Yeah. I figured those numbers would dwindle a little bit. You know, as we thought about this, Eric approached me about, due to the construction and the renovation of City Hall, we were going to have to move the capsule. Now, capsules come in many forms. You go to the pharmacy, they put medicine in capsules. When they're doing a space travel, I think they call those space capsules. It just so happens our capsule are caskets. I guess in 76 we needed a big one to be able to put all the things that was in it. And that one was donated by Webb Freer Funeral Home and Wilbert Vault Company. So Eric approached me about, say, Mayor, when we rebury that, why don't we bury another capsule from 2018? That makes sense. So, hey, let's do it. So it's going to be interesting in 2076. And I'm going to miss it by 15 years. And you might say, you only 15 years? And some of you have heard this before. I had an aunt that I lost in 2012 that lived to be 113. So I tell my kids, don't worry about inheritance because I'm going to live to be 115 because I'm going to beat her. So that's why I'll be gone about 15 years before they open it up. But it's going to be interesting, the people that open it up, the difference of the things that will be in the 1976 one and the 2018 one. They're going to probably think we were cave people or something, compared to what things will be like then. Because the evolution, the way things happen, is amazing. If you go back, if you're a historian, you look back at the history of the things, the way things were and the way things are now and the way things will be then. So all that being said, I want to hurry up and get you out of this cold. So we're going to have Don come up. Where's Don? I know he's here because he and I talked. Don, you hear from the Historic Society that you have some words of wisdom you'd like to share with us? I've got a cheat sheet about the history, but I know you know it by heart.
No, I don't. I got the cheat sheet.
Oh, you got the cheat sheet too. Okay, so let's welcome Don.
Oh, that's cold, man. You want to get your junk off?
I'm gonna get my stuff out of the way, because you might walk away with it, and then I'll be looking for it.
Can we lay that down on there? Will that work?
If you speak loud enough, it's just catch it.
Well, then, Blue Springs Historical Society. You're going to have to hold it.
You want me to hold it for you?
Was officially incorporated, was officially formed in February the 3rd, 1976. And by, let's see, by July 4, they closed a charter member because they already had 310 people at that time. So everybody after that are not charter members no more. Our first fundraiser was the sinking of the time capsule. Well, that they was thinking ahead at that point in time, but they didn't have no ground to put it in. So this went on for several months, and finally City Hall said that we can bury it in front of their building. So that was fine. Well, then we had to get a hold of Freer, and Bill Freer, and he donated the casket. And I believe Myers has donated the small one this time.
Right.
I believe, yes. Okay, they had a couple of fundraisers, and they sold envelopes, 8x10s for $2, and then the 5x7s was $1. And they didn't know how many people they was going to have, but it turned out to be about 235 people, and they made about $411. Now, on these envelopes, they could put their name and put whatever would fit in an envelope to go into there. Let me get this turned over. Envelope number 1 that went in is from the Historical Society of all the charter members in their names. And the name of the president in 2067, they got one made out for him, whoever that would be at that time. And we had congratulatory letters on our project from President Gerald Ford and Missouri Governor Kit Bond. The people that gave, they opened it up to the public then, and the public brought in 24 different sized boxes, and they was all loaded. Not big boxes, but they were small boxes. Now, I'm going to tell you here that it was bicentennial memorabilia, newspapers, magazines, brochures, clothing, toys, flags, Bible, advertising material, a 70-year-old Christmas ornament, and a lady's wig, and an empty Falstaff beer can. That's for real. When the capsule was put in the ground in '76, they wanted to honor the members. The first group that was held office, Larry Weebush was president. Liz Adams was vice president. Staten Parr was treasurer. You remember that, do you? Carol Whithar was recording secretary, and Maxine Hall, bless her heart, is in Manor at St. Mary's. She's still alive. She was a corresponding secretary. That's all I've got.
Well, thank you for that history, Don. Oh, there's your glove there. Don't forget that. Again, we got key staff here that's responsible for doing that. Eric, naturally, you know, Eric, our city administrator. We have Dennis, we have Tom, we have Mike, Chris James. And I don't know if I finished telling your story or not, but anyway, when we started the renovation and this capsule came up, there was a longtime citizen of the city of Blue Springs that became very concerned. That person called me up and said, "Carson, what did they do with that capsule?"
That's about right.
And I said, yeah. I said, I don't know, I'll find out. So I said, Eric, what did they do with that capsule? So he said they gently removed it from the ground, and they've got it in storage, Turner Construction. So I called Judy back.
Not mentioning any names, huh?
Not to mention to let her know. And so you can see it's in good condition as it lays there, as we're going to cover it back up for the opening next time. I don't think we'll have another renovation between now, well, we don't know, but between now and 2076, but whoever's in charge will make sure it's preserved, and then we'll have to preserve the both of them. Again, Marty Myers here, he provided or donated the second capsule. And that particular one probably have things in there that you put in it. I know I've got some things in it. I don't know if I put anything in 1976 or not. We'd lived here for 2.5 years, so I'm not sure. But anyway, all that being said, I suppose now is the time for us to put the first shovel of dirt. And we're not going to fill that thing up with those shovels today. We're going to let Turner Construction take care of that. One shovel is all I'm capable of doing today. There's going to be, we want to thank the Chamber, because there's going to be a reception immediately following this event at the Chamber building right there on the corner, for those that don't know where it is. Also, there is a guest book that you can sign as well. Did I leave out anything, staff? Did I miss anything? Anybody? Yes.
Can you tell us who all donated some stuff to put in there this time? Was it just random?
I think we put the invitation out to people, and I don't know. I know I put stuff in it.
Karen has only.
Karen, we had just people from all over put stuff in, didn't they?
Yeah, a lot of from the chamber, from Myers Funeral, police department, city staff. Yeah, there's, I mean, Chiefs memorabilia, Royals. It just there's from everywhere, pretty much.
Well, one of the things I'm going to share, because one of my former colleagues, when I was on the Blue Springs Board of Aldermen, he's no longer with us, so I can tell on him. Don, I can pretty much tell you who had that empty Falstaff can. And for those of you around back then, you would probably know, because anytime we'd go on a trip, and this was way past Falstaff's prime as a beer, we would go into an establishment and he would ask for a Falstaff, and people would say, a what? And for those that knew him, that was Duty Little. I'm sure that came from Duty. Yes. Okay, that being said, okay, Karen, do we go over here and get a shovel and put a shovel full in? And again, thank you all for coming.
You want to read the proclamation first? Or
I don't know if y'all want to listen to a proclamation or not. Do you?
it's up to you.
Huh?
Yeah.
It's kind of cold. Well, you know what? I tell you, I'm going to do it like I normally do proclamations, and I understand that there's a copy of this proclamation that is in the capsule. And I'm going to go down here. Marty, where are you?
Yes, sir.
Did you wave when I said you donated the second one? So you and Kim, and thank you for doing that.
Well,
Yes.
So give them a round of applause for doing that. We appreciate that. Okay, I'm just going to do one whereas, and then I'm going to move straight down to now therefore I. Okay. Whereas the 1976 capsule was donated by Way Up Fair Funeral Home and Wilbur Vault Company, and the 2018-2019 capsule was donated by Meyer Funeral Home. Both capsules will be placed in the ground by the Turner Construction Company. And now, therefore, I, Carson Ross, Mayor of Blue Springs, do believe it is most appropriate and fitting to rededicate and reconsecrate 3 historic and symbolic structures by placing a new time capsule in with the 1976 time capsule to be sealed and reopened in the year of 2076, remembering the past, honoring the present, and envisioning the future. In witness therefore, I hereby set my hand and cause the sale of the City of Blue Springs to be affixed this 8th day of January 2019. So this was done before the 10th. Just in case you think I'm confused and think today's the 8th. I'm not. Signed by Carson Ross and Julia Porter, who is Deputy City Clerk. So anyway, there's one inside the capsule, and we're going to go and grab a shovel. Now, who's going to join me in shoveling? I know the council. And who else? And I guess you all have a chance to if you want to. And maybe Turner won't have to cover this up. All right, council. Eric?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Okay, you ready? Get a shovel full, and then we'll put an end on the count of 3.
All right, here.
Okay, get the shovel full first.
And hang on to the shovel.
Okay, on the count of 3, we're gonna go on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Keep going! Keep going!
We will leave these here for the rest of you if you want to come and do them.
We can go somewhere close. Power wash.